Robert Barton Englund is an American actor, voice actor, singer, and director, best known for playing the character of infamous serial killer Freddy Krueger in the Nightmare on Elm Street film series. He received a Saturn Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor for A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors in 1987 and A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master in 1988. Englund is a classically trained actor. Early life. Englund was born in Glendale, California, on June 6, 1947, the son of Janice and John Kent Englund, an aeronautics engineer who helped develop the Lockheed U-2 airplane. He is of part Swedish ancestry, and can speak Swedish fairly well. While he was in high school, he attended the Cranbrook Theatre School in Bloomfield Hills. He then attended UCLA for 3 years, before dropping out and transferring to Michigan's Oakland University, where he trained at the Meadowbrook Theatre, at the time a branch of the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art. He married for the first time in 1968 to the nurse Elizabeth Gardner, whom he divorced in 1972. Career. Wanting a feature film debut, Englund was briefly considered for the part of Han Solo in the 1977 film Star Wars while visiting his close friend, Mark Hamill, who would later be cast in the film as Luke Skywalker, for which role Englund actually auditioned. Englund's first film wound up being Eaten Alive. He then acted out Ranger in Galaxy of Terror, produced by Roger Corman, which was released in 1981. Since then, Englund has made over 100 appearances on film and television. His early film roles usually typed him as a nerd or a redneck, and he first gained attention in the role of visitor technician and resistance fighter Willie in the 1983 miniseries V, as well as the 1984 sequel V, The Final Battle, and V, the series, in which he was a regular cast member. But after such typecasting, Englund went against type when he accepted the role of Freddy Krueger, the psychotic burn victim and child murderer in Wes Craven's 1984 hugely successful A Nightmare on Elm Street. This role catapulted him to fame, and Englund became the first new horror movie star since Sir Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing in the 1960s. His association with the genre led him to top-billed roles in The Phantom of the Opera, The Mangala, and 2001 Maniacs. He reprised his role as Freddy Krueger in A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and Freddy vs. Jason. Englund is one of only 2 actors to act out a horror character 8 consecutive times, the other being Doug Bradley, who portrayed the Pinhead character 8 times in the Hellraiser film series. Englund has said that he enjoys the role of Freddy as it gives him a break from always acting out the nice guy. Indeed, many people who have worked with Englund attest to his congeniality. Makeup artists responsible for the Krueger makeup have commented that Englund was so friendly and talkative that it made the lengthy makeup application slightly more challenging. Englund's TV appearances include starring in the short-lived series Nightmare Cafe, in which he played Blackie, the mysterious proprietor of the title cafe, and reprising his role of Freddy Krueger, or Fred Krueger, in the series Freddy's Nightmares. His guest roles include the science fiction series Babylon 5, one episode of the show MacGyver as Tim Wexler, Masters of Horror, Mad TV, Sliders, and Knight Rider, where he appeared as a phantom haunting a film studio, and Walking Tall, the series, as well as a guest star spot on the hit TV show Walker, Texas Ranger. His work in voice-over animation includes magician Felix Faust in Justice League, the Riddler on the Batman, the Vulture on the Spectacular Spider-Man, and as Dormammu on the Superhero Squad show. On the TV Witch drama Charmed, he appeared as a demon who used the services of a lackey to lure people into a decrepit household and shrank them down to action figure size. He also appeared on an episode of Married with Children as the Devil. He appeared most recently in one episode of the 2010 season of the television spy Send Up Chuck, as a scientist who created a fear-inducing nerve toxin, a similar character to the Scarecrow, one of Batman's enemies in the DC Comics. Englund performed as host of the Horror Hall of Fame awards show 3 times from 1989 to 1991. Englund made his directorial debut with the 1988 horror film 976 Evil, co-written by future Oscar winner Brian Helgeland and starring Stephen Jeffries. During production, Englund met set decorator Nancy Booth, who he would marry. His second feature, Killer Pad, was released direct-to-DVD in 2008. As of the beginning of July 2013, he was in pre-production to direct The VIJ, about a young priest who is led by an evil genie to commit murder, and who falls in love with an old witch who is not what she seems. His memoir, Hollywood Monster, A Walk Down Elm Street with the Man of Your Dreams, which Alan Goldsher transcribed from his dictations, was published by Pocket Books on October 13, 2009. Recently he had starred in the web series Fear Clinic, where he appeared in 5 episodes as Dr. Andover. Englund recently noted he would welcome a guest appearance in the ABC revival of E! In an interview with Todd Sokolov from Forces of Geek, but the series was cancelled before he could make such a guest appearance. In January 2010, it was announced that Englund would return as Jackson Roth for the sequel to Dee Snider's Strangeland, titled Strangeland 2: Disciple. However, as of December 2010, no specific dates or plans had been made regarding the project. Englund made a guest appearance in the Death of the Queen Bee episode of Bones, appearing as a quirky janitor at Protagonist Drive, Temperance Brennan's old high school. His character, a friend of Brennan's, and situation were introduced as very creepy. It's like Freddy Creepy. Englund was a special guest at the 2010 Streamy Awards, and also appeared as a special guest of the CA Weekend of Horrors on the 8th of October 2010. Englund appeared on the Creation Entertainment Weekend of Horrors in May 2010. In May of 2010, he was signed for the American independent thriller Incubus. Englund appeared as himself in the new Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies map, Call of the Dead, as one of the playable characters, and acted out the part of a Halloween-themed serial killer in the 2010s revival of Hawaii Five-0. He also took part in a Halloween, Come Dine With Me, for Channel 4 in 2012. He also appeared in Jack Brooks' Monster Slayer and Behind the Mask: The Rise of Leslie Vernon. Although the character of Freddy Krueger is regarded as one of the most terrifying in cinema history, Englund is often described by fellow actors and film crews as being extremely friendly and appreciative of his fans, many admitting that his portrayal of Krueger legitimately frightened them as children. He recently starred in The Last Showing and Fear Clinic. The latter was released on October 22, 2014 at the Screamfest Film Festival. Englund was also a special guest at Shock Comic Con on Valentine's Day 2015. Filmography: Buster and Billy, Sunburst, Hustle, Stay Hungry, Saint Ives, A Star Is Born, Eaten Alive, The Great Smoky Roadblock, Young Joe, The Forgotten Kennedy, The Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew Mysteries, Mystery of the Fallen Angels, Big Wednesday, Blood Brothers, The Fifth Floor, The Ordeal of Patty Hearst, Mind Over Murder, Chips in episode 40 Tons of Trouble, as Zack, Dead and Buried, Walking Tall, Galaxy of Terror, Don't Cry, It's Only Thunder, Hobson's Choice, V. A Nightmare on Elm Street, V. A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, Hunter in episode $1 Million Misunderstanding, as Vaughn, Downtown, North and South Book 2 episode 1.03, Never Too Young to Die, Knight Rider in episode Fright Night, as Edward Kent, MacGyver in episode Flames End, as Tim, A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, Freddy's Nightmares, 976, Evil, A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, The Phantom of the Opera, The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, Dance Macabre, Nightmare Cafe, Tobe Hooper's Night Terrors, Wes Craven's New Nightmare, The Mangler, The Unspoken Truth, The Paper Brigade, Sliders, Killer Tongue, Babylon 5 in episode, Grey 17 is Missing, Wishmaster, Married, With Children, Perfect Target, Strangeland, Urban Legend, Meet the Deedles, The Simpsons as Freddy Krueger, Idle Hands, Python, Charmed in episode, Size Matters as Gamel, Justice League as Felix Faust, Wish You Were Dead, Freddy vs. Jason, The Return of Cagliostro, 2001 Maniacs, Dance of the Dead episode of Masters of Horror, Justice League Unlimited as Felix Faust, The Batman as Riddler, Hatchet, Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon, Heartstopper, Jack Brooks, Monster Slayer as Professor Gordon Crowley, Black Swarm, Red, Jack Brooks, Monster Slayer, Killer Pad, Zombie Strippers, The Spectacular Spider-Man as Vulture, Night of the Sinner, The VIJ, Fear Clinic, The Superhero Squad Show as Dormammu, Webcam 3D, Bones as Ray Buxley, Never Sleep Again, The Elm Street Legacy as himself, Hollywood Don't Surf as himself, Chuck as Doctor, Stanley Wheelwright, Supernatural as Dr. Robert in Season 6 Episode 11, Appointment in Samara, Tamora Gamble as Rory Columbus, I Want to Be a Soldier as the Psychiatrist, Incubus as Incubus, Call of Duty, Black Ops as himself, The Mo Man of Belmont Avenue as Mr. Confab, Regular Show as the Deer Man, Hawaii Five-0 Samuel Lee, Green Lantern, The Animated Series as Myglom, Strippers vs. Werewolves as Tapper, Criminal Minds as Detective Gassner, Lake Placid, The Final Chapter as Jim Bickerman, Workaholics as Dr. Telemericorp Josh, Sanitarium, The Last Showing, Fear Clinic as Dr. Andover, Hulk and the Agents of SMASH as Pluto, Lake Placid vs. Anaconda as Jim Bickerman, Education, UCLA, Granada Hills High School, Granada Hills, California, California State University, Northridge, Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, London, England.